Have you ever wondered why it feels so difficult to say no to someone? Maybe it's a friend asking for help, or a colleague dumping extra work on you, or a family member expecting your time. And even though you're overwhelmed, you still say yes. Not because you want to, but because you're afraid of disappointing them, of being judged, or simply because you don't know how to say no without feeling guilty. But here's the truth. Every time you say yes to something that doesn't serve you, you're silently saying no to yourself. In this video, we're going to talk about 4 powerful reasons why you struggle to say no, and most importantly, how you can overcome them without guilt. Let's start with the first reason, fear of rejection. Have you ever said yes just because you were scared that the other person might get upset or walk away if you said no? It happens more often than we admit. Maybe it was a friend asking for a favor when you were already exhausted. Maybe your boss dumped extra work and you couldn't say no. Not because you had time, not because you were okay with it, but because you were scared of what might happen if you didn't agree. And so you betrayed your own needs to protect the connection. But here's the truth. If someone stops valuing you just because you said no, they never truly valued you at all. Let that sink in. Saying no doesn't push the right people away. It filters out the wrong ones. Here is what you can do. Here's a simple way to start. Start small. Say no in low-risk situations, like choosing where to eat or declining a small request. Be polite but firm. For instance, imagine your colleague asks you to help with a project, even though you're already juggling a tight deadline. Instead of feeling obligated to say yes, you can respond with, "I'd love to help, but I have other priorities right now, like finishing this report. Can we talk about it once I'm done?" This way, you're not shutting them down completely, but you're asserting your boundaries and priorities. Now let's talk about the second reason, the need for approval. It's natural to want to be liked. We all crave acceptance and approval, especially from the people we care about. But sometimes this need for approval can make it hard to say no, even when we really should. Think about it. You say yes to something because you want to be seen as helpful, kind, generous, someone others can rely on. You might even feel like if you say no, you'll be labeled as selfish or unhelpful. This is especially true if you've been taught to always please others, to avoid conflict, or to be the nice one. But here's the thing. Being nice doesn't mean saying yes to everything. You can be a kind, generous person without overextending yourself. Now, how to overcome this? Acknowledge that saying no isn't about rejecting the person, but protecting your time and energy. You can still be kind and helpful without being at everyone's beck and call. For example, if someone asks for your time, you can say, "I understand you need help, but I'm unable to take this on right now. I hope you understand." Remember that it's okay not to be everyone's favorite. Not everyone is going to approve of your boundaries, and that's perfectly fine. Real relationships are built on mutual respect, not constant people-pleasing. Example, instead of saying yes to avoid disappointing someone, say, "I'm unable to commit to this, but I hope we can find another way to work together in the future." This shows that you still care, but are not compromising your values. Let's move on to the third reason we struggle to say no. Guilt and obligation. Have you ever said yes to something and immediately regretted it? Not because you wanted to do it, not because you had the time, but because saying no just made you feel guilty. But here's the reality. Guilt is not a sign that you're doing something wrong. Sometimes it's just a sign that you're finally doing what's right for you. You don't have to earn your worth by constantly giving. You're allowed to choose yourself, even if someone else is disappointed. So what you can do, redefine what being helpful means. Helping others should never come at the cost of your health, energy, or peace of mind. For example, you've already worked a 10-hour day, and a friend asked for a late-night called event. You care, but you're drained. Instead of saying yes out of guilt, say, "I want to give you my full attention, but I'm too exhausted tonight. Can we talk tomorrow when I'm more present? Replace guilt with responsibility to yourself. Use compassionate no's. You can care about someone and still choose not to do what they're asking. Now let's get into the fourth and final reason people struggle to say no, a lack of boundaries. Many of us were never really taught what healthy boundaries look like. We're often told things like, always be there for others. If someone needs you, drop everything. Don't be rude. Don't say no. Over time, we start believing that saying no is selfish, so we allow others to overstep, not because we're okay with it, but because we don't know how to stop it. Here's a simple example. Imagine you're working from home, focused on a deadline. A friend keeps calling you, texting you, asking you to come over just for a bit. You feel guilty ignoring them, so you pause your work again. Now your day is thrown off, your deadline is at risk, and you're frustrated, not just at them, but at yourself for not drawing the line. So how to build boundaries? Recognize where your limits are. What drains you? What feels like too much? If a certain request makes you feel anxious, resentful, or tired, that's a red flag. For example, if a coworker regularly dumps last-minute work on you, you can say, I won't be able to help this time. I need advance notice to adjust my schedule. Communicate clearly and calmly. You don't need long explanations or dramatic excuses. A simple, confident no is enough. When you start setting boundaries, people may resist, especially if they've been used to the old version of you who always says yes. That's okay. Their discomfort doesn't mean your boundary is wrong. So here's what it all comes down to. Saying no is not rejection, it's redirection. Steve Jobs put it perfectly when he said, it's only by saying no that you can concentrate on the things that are really important. Even Warren Buffett, one of the most disciplined thinkers of our time, said, the difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything. Think about it. It's not about being rude or selfish. It's about being intentional. Because every no to something that drains you is a yes to something that builds you. If this video helped you in any way, let me know in the comments. Which reason hit you the hardest? Where do you struggle to say no the most? At work, with friends, or family? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more real-life insights and practical wisdom. And we will see you in the next one.